And you have a relaxer, right?
I mean, with this Pixie,
You don't have a choice, right?
you have a choice.
And your Pixie is always laid.
So before we get into this video and my thoughts and issues with what was said, I just want to follow up from my last week's video where I mentioned that I would be dropping my other YouTube channels that talk about politics, current events, not for the faint of heart, so don't watch it if you don't want to, but also, maybe even more importantly, how I'm going to be documenting my journey on trying to replace my 9-to-5 income with online side hustles. So if you're interested in checking out any of those channels, they are linked below. All right. Now to today's program. So today I want to have a discussion about if there are certain hairstyles where your hair actually does need to be straight. And this is a bit of a difficult video for me because I genuinely don't know if my perspective and how I'm thinking about this particular issue is correct or if I'm just completely wrong. So let's break it down and hopefully you can let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. So here's a problem I have with what I just heard. Does a pixie cut mean that your hair has to be straight? Does a pixie cut have to be laid? I don't know exactly what Teyanna Taylor's hair texture is, but from what I've understood about a pixie cut has more to do with the actual style of how the hair is cut, not the actual texture of hair that the pixie cut is in. But I'm not sure, right? I'm not a hairstylist. I don't cut pixies. I'm not too familiar with the terminology. So of course I ran over to Google and typed in, what is a pixie cut? And it said a pixie cut is a very short, often cropped haircut that's generally worn close to the scalp, particularly on the back and sides. It typically features a bit more length on top, allowing for versatile styling options. And I was like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Now, most importantly, can a pixie cut be done with curly hair? And it said, yes, a pixie cut can absolutely work with curly hair. So that led me down the rabbit hole of starting to look up pixie cut with type 4 hair. And I found all of these different images that I personally think are gorgeous. So here's my question, what I want you guys to answer in the comment section below in regards to what you think. Is this just yet another example of us Black women thinking that our natural hair texture is not suitable for certain hairstyles? Or is this a situation where a pixie cut, regardless of what Google AI says, is supposed to be done with straight hair and is supposed to be laid? That's my question to you, because my gut instinct tells me that it's the first option, which is that a pixie cut can be done with any texture of hair. And this is more of our own brainwashing and societal conditioning to make us Black women feel like, for whatever strange reason, we cannot just rock our natural hair texture and whatever hairstyle it is that we would like to. It's an odd concept to me that because your hair is naturally curly, you can't wear this short pixie cut hairstyle. But I guess where I'm conflicted is if someone were to say, no, that's just how a pixie cut is supposed to look, right? It's supposed to be a straight Tinkerbell laid, as Miss Tina said, type of look. And if that's the case, is there anything wrong with that? I guess what I think is wrong with that is how it was phrased, how they spoke about it. She didn't say, I'm doing this pixie cut because, I don't know, I like the way that my hair looks straighter in a pixie cut. It sounded like you have no other option but to do a pixie cut with relaxed hair if you have curly or type 4 hair. And that really rubs me the wrong way because I think that we women always have a choice in how we choose to wear our hair. And the concept that you would have to be a slave to a relaxer because you feel like you have no choice but to relax your hair in order to wear that style, I don't think that that is accurate. Now, when I posted my last video about the natural hair community and whether or not it was dying, someone commented something along the lines of feeling like a lot of times now they just see different types of commentary videos which are calling out people spreading anti-natural hair rhetoric, and that is something that gets a lot of views and clicks and things along those lines, and it seems to be sensationalized. And I absolutely make content like that, and I have no intentions of stopping it. And here's my reasoning for why that is. Miss Tina Knowles is considered like an icon in the Black community, and she's a hairstylist that is respected in her field. She's also the mother to Beyonce, right, as we all know, which is going to give her even more credibility and fame. And then Teyanna Taylor is a star in her own right. Two both accomplished, beautiful women. They have a massive platform, okay? So when they get on a platform and say something that I honestly believe they have no intentions of harm whatsoever in saying this. But when they say something like, oh, you have a relaxer in, right? Well, with this Pixie, yeah, you've got no choice. You are absolutely going to put into the minds of other women, specifically Black women, that if they want to have a short haircut and have it look good like Teyanna's, that they have to relax their hair, that they have no other choice but to do that. And that's why I think these type of commentary videos are important, because I view them as an alternative voice to a very prevalent narrative that is out there in the world in regards to our natural hair and how we Black women need to interact with our natural hair. Now, again, I want to reiterate that I don't think that Teyanna Taylor or Miss Knowles have any intention of doing anything bad. I think they're just trying to be transparent and talking about hair, and I appreciate their transparency, but I really think that that notion that you have to have a relaxer in your hair for certain styles is harmful, in my opinion. And the other reason why I really wanted to make a comment about this video is because this is an example of how this type of rhetoric and language comes across as so benign and so subliminal and so normalized that most people would not even blink twice at. I scrolled through the comment section. I probably went through the first 200 comments or so. I did not see one comment from one individual saying anything about questioning that mindset of why did she say she has to have a relaxer in order to have a Pixie? Or I've seen people who have Pixie cuts that have type 4 hair and were able to do it with their natural hair texture. Not one. The only comments I saw were people saying that they really enjoyed the video and that they love Teyanna's hair. It's so beautiful. She's so blessed to have thick hair. It's so gorgeous. It's so fierce. Everything complimenting her hair, but nothing about the relaxer comment. And the part that also really stuck out to me, and why I really want to speak up against this type of narrative for the type 4 hair girls, is that I don't think that they're against the idea of having a Pixie cut for people who have type 3 hair. It's really about type 4. And why do I say that? Because as I continue to watch the video and we get, of course, my neighbor would start to mow their lawn right now when I'm in the middle of making a video. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. As I continue to watch the video and we get to the end where Teyanna Taylor is styling her Pixie, the stylist begins to curl her hair to where the overall end product, which I would absolutely agree looks beautiful, her hair does not look like just straight up relaxed hair like it was just, you know, type 1A hair. Her hair looks like someone who would have curly hair. Maybe like a type 3 girly. That's when I was like, yeah, this really does feel like another example of our own internalized texturism issues being put on full display, because it's not just that you don't want to display your natural type 4 hair. It's not just that you want to have super laid hair and relaxer. You want hair that looks like this slight curl, right? You want this slight curl pattern that seems to always be so idolized and put on a pedestal in the natural hair community, right? When people talk about natural hair, a lot of times they don't see type 4, they see the type 3s. So you can have a Pixie cut and have it super laid and super straight, or you can have a Pixie cut that resembles a type 3 texture. Now again, playing devil's advocate to myself and questioning myself if my perspective on this is just way off. Is this just a style that has no meaning or prevalence beyond that? Is a Pixie cut supposed to be straight and laid with maybe just a slight bump that could resemble type 3? You guys let me know if that's the case or not. I really hope that if there are any Black women out there who happen to stumble across this video that are thinking about putting their hair into a Pixie cut and they also feel like they have to relax it in order to, you know, execute that style, I hope you know that you don't have to. That in spite of what, you know, Miss Tina and Teyanna Taylor said, and in spite of how good that look looks on them, if you do not want to relax your hair, I do not believe you have to. And I think that your style will still look beautiful with your natural texture. But at the end of the day, obviously, everyone's hair is their hair and they're going to do what they're going to do. But I do think that it's very important to continue to provide an alternative voice and messaging when we see things like this that could influence people to continue the internalized hatred or unacceptance of our own natural hair texture. I also want to add on, because I know that some of the Beehive people might try to come for me, that I have nothing against Beyonce, Cecred, Miss Tina Knowles, Teyanna, or anything like that. I think that Cecred is a line that clearly has a lot of work put into it. I'm actually going to be talking about a product, a Cecred product that I'm going to be reviewing over the next 90 days. So stay tuned and subscribe if you want to hear about that. But yeah, I would really like to hear from you guys in the comment section. Let me know, am I crazy? Am I just a crazy person who's too sensitive to how we talk about natural hair and our texture? Or do you see something to what I'm saying about you don't have to relax our hair just to put it in a particular style?